and empowering you into action. This is Warriors Talk with your host, Lady ReShell.
Hello, welcome to Warriors Talk with your host, Lady ReShell, where we move away from awareness towards action. Today's topic is urgent and necessary. I dance my way through death. Here's a sobering truth. Every minute in the U.S., nearly 20 people are physically abused by an intimate partner. That means while we're having this conversation tonight, countless lives are being impacted. So go ahead, get your tea, get your water, your journals, and your favorite snack, and join in on this life saving conversation. On the last episode of Warriors Talk, Rosala and I discussed Rut to Revival, reigniting your relationship. You can head over to Intellectual Radio and stay connected for any episodes that you may have missed. The quote of the day is: survivors aren't defined by their scars, but by the strength it took to heal them. Make sure you save the date, family. Save the date for Warriors Talk, ninth annual Survivor Celebration and Reflection Gala, taking place on October the 18th at the Crystal Sky Banquet Hall from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. as we celebrate survivors, those who are in battle as well. We will have an afternoon of inspiration, reflection, and celebration. So if you would like to be a part of that celebration, go to warriorstalk.org for more information. We are looking for vendors as well as sponsors. We're also having a book launch that same exact day, you guys. We have 5 amazing authors that are sharing their stories of faith and how faith emerges, and they have let go and let God take care of their journey. So you can join in on the book launch as well. We will have a panel so you get to learn a little bit about their stories, and you get to take a picture and have your book signed with the author. So make sure you go to warriorstalk.org again for more information. If you are tuned in on any form of social media, make sure you like the show, share the show, and invite someone else in on the show that you feel may benefit from this valuable information. I'm so grateful for my sponsor on today. We have Pastor Michael Richardson with the Emmanuel Church of God in Christ, who has a special message for us.
Greetings, I am Pastor Michael Richardson.
And I am First Lady Anastasia Richardson from the Emmanuel Church of God in Christ. We're located at 3058 West Van Buren in Chicago, Illinois. We are building upon a solid foundation.
And we're inviting you to join us every Sunday morning on Facebook Live at Emmanuel Kojic at 10:15 Central Standard Time. And you can also view our videos on our YouTube channel at Emmanuel Kojic-MR. Once again, this is Pastor Michael Richardson
and First Lady Anastasia Richardson, and we're from the Emmanuel Church of God in Christ. We are building upon a solid foundation.
My special guest today is a courageous mother, veteran minister, educator, and the author of more than 25 books, a 24-year victim, 10-year survivor, and 7-year overcomer of domestic violence. She has transformed her pain into purpose as the CEO of Lotus Worldwide Consultant LLC. Through her writing, advocacy, and worldwide mission, she is a powerful voice for the voiceless, educating, empowering, and inspiring communities to move from awareness towards taking action. Welcome to Warriors Talk, Elissa Boudreaux.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Hey, how are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
And I cannot hear you for some reason. You went silent on me. Are you able to hear? You can hear me though.
I can hear you well.
Okay. Are you near a phone where you can dial in but stay on camera?
No.
You're not?
You can't hear me at all?
Okay, she's not. I'm not sure what happened.
You
So
can't hear me
if
at all?
I take her out for a second, I'm gonna drop you and I'm gonna bring you right back up just to see if
Okay.
that will solve the technical difficulty. Give me 1 second. Just bear with us. If you are tuning in, we're talking about the topic, I Dance My Way Through Death. And we have the very author here on the show that will be sharing her journey. All right, what about now?
Yes. Can you hear me?
No. All
I
right.
can't believe like I
Um,
knew what was going on.
if I were to, oh, Lisa said I can hear you both. You can hear us both, Lisa, but for some reason, I'm not able to hear her. She's able to hear me, but I cannot hear her. But thank you for letting me know that I appreciate it. Just wait. If I remove the cord, because she's not able to, she's not by a phone to where she can dial. Are you able to hear me now?
I can hear you plain and clear. I
So
can hear you.
it's not that. All right.
I
All
can hear
right,
both
I'm gonna
of
pause it for 1 second. Just bear with me for 1 moment. I'm just gonna put up my new book that's out, which is a journal that you can get on Amazon, where I try to work through this issue really quickly. I have that one. That's the journal commercial. Oh, I don't. Oh, I don't. I have my opening. Let me see. Give me 1 second. Okay. All right. Let me see if this will work. All right. Elissa, can you hear me now?
I can hear you perfect.
How about now?
I can hear you perfect.
She can hear me. I just cannot hear her. And the audience can hear her too.
So it has to be on your
Yes, because Lisa said that she can hear. All right. Hold tight.
Okay.
Elissa, can you go out the studio and then sign back in? Awesome. So this is the book that she has written. Again, she has over 25 books that she has written. And this is the one that we're talking about today. I met her at a breast cancer walk over a couple of weeks ago. And I saw her and I heard her talking. I was like, wow, she has a powerful story that I would like for her to share on Warriors Talk. So this is what we're going to be talking about today. And Lisa said, yes, I can still hear you both perfectly. That's so weird. All right, let me bring her back up. All right, what about now?
Can you hear me? Because I can hear you perfect.
Okay, now.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Either way, with or without. Okay, hold on. Give me 1 second, Elissa. What you can do is since Lisa said that she is able to hear you, I cannot. But I'm going to do this. I'm going to go ahead and start because since the audience can hear you, it doesn't make sense to stop. Your audience can, so YouTube cannot. Oh, okay. So Facebook can hear her. Elissa. Lisa, do me a favor. Give me some feedback if you are able to hear. So, Elissa, while I work this out, my first question to you is, can you take us back to the beginning and share what life looked like growing up and how those early experiences have shaped your path?
Growing up I thought was easy at first until my mother and father got a divorce, separated and got a divorce. And I think that's kind of when stuff kind of started going on with me. I think before then, maybe a year or two prior, my grandfather passed and my mom changed a lot. And she took it real hard. And so did we. So I I can talk about right after that is when I think I got an imaginary friend, and I think that kind of twisted me a little bit. And I tell people all the time, imaginary friends aren't good because they can make you do things and say things and get into things that you shouldn't. Um, After that, my mom and dad split up, and it was just a lot of hurt. Looking for love in all the wrong places. They split up around maybe I was 9 or 10, and I lost my virginity at 14. So uh, that was the beginning of something that turned into a lot that still I'm finding my purpose.
Okay, I was able to hear the majority of that, so that's great. So you have endured so much, 24 years as a victim of domestic violence. What was the turning point that shifted you from victim to survivor?
Um, I was forced to retire from the military, and I needed a backbone. I needed somebody that was going to stand up for me. I needed somebody that was going to say that I mattered, and I didn't. I didn't matter my entire marriage. There was turmoil my entire marriage, and before then, like I said, I started um, at 14 years old with a man. It wasn't a child. He was 19 and I was 14. So uh, they get into your mind, and that's it. And so from 14 years of age until 38 years old, I didn't get an epiphany. I didn't get this. Yeah, I got things like I want to leave, but it was still the same because my mindset had not changed. I was still that girl from, they call it the island, but Scotlandville, Louisiana. I was still that girl stuck there, but wanting to go here. And so I did make conscious decisions to, further my life and go to the military. And I'm a two-time war veteran. Um, and I was forced to retire due to domestic violence and a lot of things that went on in that. And so I had to learn how to be better and not bitter because it could have really turned really bad. Because right now I would probably still be in the military if it had not been for that turning point of, you literally lost your career behind a man and domestic violence.
Wow. And your story reminds me of this heartbreaking reality that on average more than 3 women are murdered every day by a current or former intimate partner in the US. And that's why sharing stories like yours is so critical because silence can be deadly. And it's very unfortunate that you lost your career to this. I think people don't understand that it doesn't just affect the body, but it affects everything around you, your mental, your spirituality, emotionally, financially, it affects everything. And when one thing is out of balance, everything is out of balance.
Yes. And I've been homeless about 4 times, 5 times. Um, but God has just always given me that resilience. I am just at the point of I know I'm resilient. Now let me seek some wisdom so I don't have to continue to keep being resilient, keep bouncing back, and that I had to really get that mind renewed. And I'm still a work in progress. Got a lot going on right now. I am a mother of a teenager. At 55 years old, that is like you already have no nerves, and then they get on the no nerves. So it's like this society has taught me a lot. It's kept me young, learning because I have a grown daughter that's 31. So that the age gap is really big. And I'm literally raised one, got one out of the house, and began to raise another one. So they're 14 years apart. One was going to kindergarten, one was going to college at the same time. So, and I was graduating from college at that time with my bachelor's degree. So it was a lot going on. At that time, my ex-husband, who was my last perpetrator, um, he had a mental breakdown in my 3rd month of pregnancy with my last daughter. So that was very challenging. We went through that for about 10 years until his death. He died in 2018 from a fentanyl overdose. So that was a lot between, I guess, 2008 until 2018. It was a lot of turmoil in my life. It was a lot of grief. There was a lot of protective orders. It was a lot of stuff.
So you describe yourself as a 7-year overcomer. What does that mean to you beyond survival?
Surviving is just surviving. But when you overcome something, you can thrive. You can, I can't say that triggers don't hit me. Triggers hit me. I still have triggers. There's still things that I've suppressed and they're coming back in, little spurts sometimes and they hurt a little bit. But I just believe that thriving is when you can overcome those survival moments and literally hit the ground running. Every time something comes your way, you feel it, you go through it, and you go through it. You don't stay there. And I stood there for years. I stood in my mess for years. I had that repetitive cycle for years. I'm a victim. I'm a victim. I'm not a victim. I'm not a survivor anymore. I survived it all. Yes, I did survive it all. But I'm victorious over that survival mode. I'm at that thriving. I'm ready to, just go further worldwide. That's what Lotus Worldwide is. Lotus Worldwide that means that I'm global. I want people to hear my voice globally say, you can get out. It's not easy. And it takes sacrifice. It takes hard work. It takes dedication. It takes perseverance. It takes hurt. It takes disappointment. It takes disrespect. It takes betrayal. It takes all of that mixed into one, like they say, all things work together. They all work together to push you, to make you go further, to keep you from falling, to keep you from looking back, to keep you from giving up. That's what I do. And that's what I do to every person that comes in front of me. I give them life. I give them motivation. I give them inspiration. Because somebody didn't do it for me.
Whew. Wow. That was powerful. You mentioned that you are a veteran. So you served our country as a 2-time war veteran, and you also battled challenges at home. How did your faith and resilience carry you through all of that?
There were times when I wanted to give up because my faith wavered. I've had challenges with, they don't say that there's church hurt, it's just people hurt. But I've had challenges with churches and, things like that where I had to almost go into seclusion and find myself for myself through God. And I think that that was his purpose for me, because sitting in rituals, as I would call it sometimes, and, I'm going there because it's Sunday. I'm going there because it's church. I'm going there because. No, you got to have a cause within inside of you to say, I am the church and I'm going to carry it everywhere I go. So I had to be pulled back. For a long time, I dibbled and dabbled with speaking and going to different things and watching things on TV because it triggered my soul. When I tell you I would get up and speak and get home and be sick for days trying to recover from all of that trauma that I had to speak on in front of people I didn't even know. It was real eye-opening that I had to take a step back and heal some more and grow some more because, people will say, girl, you got a powerful story. You need to be speaking. When God tells you to speak, when it's time to speak, when it's your turn to speak, then that's when you open up your mouth. Until then, allow him to cultivate those gifts in you because sometimes we can prematurely walk out of things that people have told us we look like. I look like $1,000,000. I look like a first lady. I look like a corporate lady. I look like a lot of things. But what do I possess and how has it manifested or how has it grown in me enough to bring it to the forefront? Those are the things I look at. I'm not going to step out until I know for sure I heard what God said, not what somebody else told me they see, because I have to see it within myself. If I don't see it within myself, then how can I get up and be confident in knowing that I'm doing it the right way, or that I feel that I am giving or relaying my message the way that I need to effectively relay it?
That is so powerful. I went to a women's workshop this weekend and she was touching on what you was just saying. She talked about your assignment lining up with your purpose. And sometimes people can call you to do things and ask you to do things and it has nothing to do with your purpose, and sometimes it distracts you from your purpose to where you're doing those things and then you don't have the energy to do what you're purposed to do. So that I love that. I love that.
Yeah, I've learned that it has to not only be your turn, but it has to be your time. It not only has to be your time, but it has to be your turn. They work hand in hand because timing is everything, but being in the right place at the right time, in the right position, knowing what you're supposed to know, saying what you're supposed to say, line by line, precept by precept. If you can't effectively give out your communicate effectively and give out or relay your message effectively, nobody's gonna understand it. It's almost like Babylon.
Wow. Wow. That's powerful. So faith and resilience, they're both are powerful, but so is support. I always say a support system is crucial. And studies show that survivors who connect with advocacy or support services are 60 to 70% more likely to live free from abuse. And so that's why conversations like this is life saving. What was your support system like when it came to the domestic violence, just pushing you to be the best you in life? Like, what was that like?
That was my mother and God. I did not have a support system until today. I still don't have a big supporting system other than outside of my, I would say my immediate circle within other cities. I'm more not, I'm more, I mean, I'm very on home, but of course they say that you're not welcome in your own hometown sometimes. And, sometimes you have to leave and go where you're needed. And so I'm working on that as well. But my support system left when my mom passed, but her words still stick with me, and I share them with everybody, and everywhere I go. I watched my mom about a week after my kids lost their father, which was my ex-husband at the time, but still, I had a major loss because when they lost their dad, I saw some of my children's soul go. And so, with that being said, as a mother, I had to stand up and do what was right. And I had to stand up and be the mother that God had called and chosen me to be. And that was to show integrity and show that I loved my kids so unconditionally, that I loved their dad even in his ugliness, even in everything that we went through. I loved him till death. We buried him. I had to bury my ex-husband. And that was one of another hardest thing that I had to do, but I did it. And I did it with dignity. I did it with respect. I did it with honor. I did it because my kids matter. I did it because my kids are a part of me just as well as it's a part of him. And we made them both together. And I would dare not allow him or them to have a part of me and him. That would be so selfish of me. What if I would have passed first? What if he would have had to make the decision? I don't know whether he would have buried me. I don't know if he would have buried me the way I buried him, because I was called and asked, do you still have your a policy on your husband? Well, he wasn't my husband, but I kept a policy because I knew I had kids for him. And I said, I do. I can tell you that it was so ironic the way he passed, because maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks prior, we had gotten this letter in the mail about his insurance, and because he had had a mental breakdown in 2008, I knew I couldn't drop that insurance. I couldn't lose that insurance. And so I was having a hard time at that time. Money was really, really tight. We had kind of consolidated to one home, me and my daughter, just to eat and everything else. And so walk in her house and I'm like, why didn't you open this? This is from Primerica. And she was like, I never opened it. Well, I opened it and it said, you have until Friday, March the 29th March the 30th at 5 p.m. to have this premium paid up. Girl, I forgot. I had to send the screenshot to my ex-mother-in-law, that it was at 4:57 when I called in to pay that note on that Friday. That Saturday was my mother-in-law's birthday. We went to a party with her. 2018, she had a little dinner. He showed up. I want to be with my family. I want to hang with my family. He sat with us. We ate. Party over. The next day was Easter. We shared Easter with his family because we were going back to Houston the next day. Got to Houston on Monday. Tuesday morning, I got the call. Are you sitting down? I'm thinking my mom passed. Your ex-husband was found deceased in his mother's backyard. I looked at my kids and I melted. And as I told each of them, because he had called them the night before, and he had been calling my oldest for her entire college years, every day, as a mental ill person, still telling her, get up and go to school, get up and go to school. If she was late outside, he would be like, it's time for you to go home. You got school in the morning. And he passed 2 months before she graduated from college. My youngest was 9 years old. And he had called both of them the night before, and both of them missed his call. The oldest called back, but his mom said, I'm not getting out my bed to go get him. So you have to talk to him in the morning. And she found him deceased in the backyard the next morning. And so that was hard for me, and it still is because my girls are still grieving, and that's been since 2018. But we get through the best way we can because we're our only family. We don't really have anybody that can pick us up if we fall, so it's all us and all God.
Ooh, that was heavy. That was heavy, but that was nothing but God that had you to open that up and pay it up. Wow. Wow.
Yes.
Wow. If you are tuned in right now on Intellectual Radio to Warriors Talk, I'm talking to Elissa Boudreaux, and she's talking about the title of the book is I Dance My Way Through Grief, but she's talking about so much more. Yes, Lisa, yes, but God, but God, but God. And you titled this book, I Dance My Way Through Grief.
Through death.
And I have my, yes. Such a
It's so
pretty cover.
ironic that we both picked them up at the
I
same
know,
time.
I know, right? And I love this color. I love the dress, like just very classy. I love it. I love it. And I like how you put it together. I like how it's like you just took your time to drop some gems to someone who may be going through grief. And you have a special way of putting it together because sometimes grief for one person may look one way, and for another person it may look totally different. And the world expects for us to grieve a certain way, and when you're not grieving that way, they figure like, oh, what's wrong with you, or get over it, it's been this long, whatever, you know. Share with us, I Dance My Way Through Death. What is the, first of all, how did you come up with this title? I mean, I know because I was reading the book as you was talking about the different the way, you had to dance. Sometimes the dances were different dances. It wasn't all the same dances. But what was the mess? How'd you come up with the title? And then what's the message that you hope readers walk away with?
Okay. So this title is so near and dear to me because, of course, being a domestic violence victim, you still go through depressed stages. You go through. I have where I was diagnosed with PTSD due to the war. I have anxiety a lot. I really do. I have panic attacks. I look like nothing's wrong, but I do have challenges that I go through my own self. But I just keep striving for better, and I keep saying, by his stripes I am healed. And so I get this confidence and I get this S on my chest that says that I'm victorious at all costs. And so dancing my way through death, after my ex-husband passed, I got my mom in hospice. And I saw her go through a Job experience. And in her last days, we really bonded, and she called me into her room to pray with me because she said that she knew I would need her prayers to get through everything that I had already endured, and to have to watch her pass. And the way my mom passed, my mom had blisters all over her body that were about an inch to an inch and a half high, full of liquids. And when she passed, they had to bust those and wrap her in plastic and put her in her suit to go into the casket. And so I watched my mom. I took care of my mom her entire sickness until death. And a week before she stopped voice speaking, she brought me in her room and she talked to me, and she told me everything that I needed to survive was on the inside of me. And that she gave me everything that she could from her era. What she failed in, corrected. She wanted the generational cycles to stop. She told me that I had everything I needed on the inside of me. And she said, and even in my death, even in my sorrow, even in my pain, I still trust God. And at that moment, I said, if my mama can trust God in her death, dying an ugly death, I can trust him with my life. And I began to fight. And I bought me a house. You were looking at a house and trying to buy a house. When she passed. And I bought me a house with my VA loan. And that was 2019. My mom passed in July, and my house was ready December 23rd. Brand new build. Never thought little girl from Scotlandville could ever be in a house as massive as my home is. And I get sick. Backtrack in 2013, I was a size 22. In 2016, I was a size 16, 18, and I kind of dropped down to a size 12. And I stayed there until everybody was sick, and I would feel sick, but I would just kind of push it under the rug. Well, when my mom passed and the grief got there and not taking care of myself, it all kind of fell on me. And so I got real sick, and for 19 months, well, before I got sick, I had to have a corrective surgery. The first surgery was a gastric sleeve. They had to do a revision bypass, which means they had to revise the 20% of stomach that I had left. And it took me into a malnutrition, malabsorption state. I lost down to 98 pounds. And I fought for my life for 19 months. All I did was throw up and defecate profusely for 19 months. I could not hold anything on my stomach. I could not smell anything. I could not get up out my bed. I could not give myself a bath. I could not feed myself. I could not do anything for myself but pray. And at 1 minute, I wanted to give up. But I went to the doctor, and he gave me a wake-up call. He said, you got to go home and eat, because tonight you can go home and die. You're just that sick. I couldn't eat. But that's when God kicked in and said, you're right. He said, man said you shall die, but I said that you shall live and not die, to declare what I said. That's what it is. And so he told me, in the middle of me sick, get up and dance. God, I can't get up and dance. I don't know how. I'm like the man at the pool of Bethesda. I can't pick it up. I can't get up. Now, there's my daughters, they took care of me. They did what they were supposed to do. My oldest daughter came home, stopped her entire life. Someone told her to anoint the house with oil. We had just moved here, brand new walls. When I did come to, girl, they had fingerprints all over my walls. Smeared all the way down. She had the door sealed, everything. And so I started getting better. In about 6 months, I felt good. And then my godchild gets killed. And it took me down a depression spiral. And I started not eating again. And I went back down to 98 pounds. That was last year. Or a year before last. And so last year, I was able to start getting myself back up, because me and him made a promise to each other that one of us had to make it out. One of us had to make it out. One of us had to go and tell somebody, because he got killed in the streets. He got killed, he got murdered. So I have to be the one to make it out and tell the story of how I made it over, of how God brought me out of a mess, how I danced my way through death by getting up when I heard the voice of God, and he said dance. And he said, he gave me the song, Optimistic by Sounds of Blackness. You got to be optimistic. You got to see it before you see it. You got to understand that it's going to happen if you believe it. But you gotta have faith, and you gotta work your faith, because faith without works is dead. You gotta put your hands to the plow. You gotta get up when you don't feel like it. You gotta move even when your body say you can't. You got to be able to renew your mind to say, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And you get up and you fight. I cry, but I get up and I go forward. I cry and I still get up and still smile afterwards. I shake it out. I walk it out. I do what I gotta do, because I know what's on the inside of me. I know I have purpose that I know is destined to somebody else, because he wouldn't have allowed me to go through the hell, the mess, and dance my way through death without it. And then I wrote these books in January. After writing those books, I've been in a couple of magazines. I wrote a child's book in March. I have freckles in real life, real time. I cover them when I put my makeup on, but most times now that I'm learning to love myself, I walk around without my freckles. But this one is the Freckle Fairy, a magical lesson in loving yourself. And this is for kids to teach them self-awareness and self-love. And that's where it begins. We don't have to teach domestic violence if we teach our children how to love themselves. And so, with that being said, one question I've always asked is, in the Bible it says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. Well, we have to back it up. We have to love ourselves, because the only thing we can do for our neighbor is give them what love we give to ourselves.
Oh, she was preaching. And the devil want to come in and cut off the communication. Oh my goodness. Yes, Lisa. Lisa said you have to be obedient to God's word and move in faith. I think we lost connection with Elissa. So while she comes back, Lisa says, my Lord, and that she's praying for her complete healing. She has a powerful story. Like, I don't even know if most people would have made it through half of the things that she's been through. Like, that was a lot. And she has a message to tell. So I would encourage you guys to make sure that you pick up her book while she comes back in. Make sure you pick up her book. She has the book, she has a journal, and then she also has a workbook as well. And you guys can pick up her book. You can gift it to somebody. You can read it yourself. I mean, yes, girl, you preaching. I said the devil don't want nobody to hear this message. You preaching.
Yes, girl. That's what I just said, the same thing.
Yes.
And I guess as I was saying, I have the Freckle Fairy, which is for kids. This is literally how it begins. If we can teach our children the 7 segments of self-love, in which I give that class, they would know what domestic violence is, because they love themselves enough to know that this don't feel right. This don't feel like what I want to feel. So I try to do preventative measures before interventions, because interventions are hard. And so in May, I wrote this book, Forbidden Love, Domestic Violence Out Loud. This book is literally a book that needs to be in everybody's home, just like the Bible. And I'm not comparing it to the Bible, but what I'm saying is, this book, if you know what domestic violence looks like, and you can recognize it in every home. I mean, just like you said, 1 out of 3 people around the world, they get 22,000 calls in a day, in a minute. We have like 9. I can't even put it to words. The statistics here in Louisiana is we are in the top 5. Louisiana, top 5. Baton Rouge, oh my God. I couldn't even, if they were doing it by cities, we probably would be on the top, because there is a very bad spirit going around that tells people that you can control people, that you can put fear into people, that you can harm people, and it's okay, and it's not okay. It's not okay. And it's not okay for us to say, why did you stay? Or why you keep going back? Our job is to say, what can I do to help you? How may I assist you? Because if you start demanding stuff, they're going to start feeling like you're putting them back in that same position, in that same box. You have to be more open to say, I don't understand, but I'm here to love you through it. Even when the times get hard, even when you don't want it, even when you want to give up, I'm here. I'm going to catch you when you fall, sis. I got your back. I'm going to be your voice for the voiceless. So, Forbidden Love is a book that everybody needs in their repertoire. And Forbidden Love Volume 2 is now at the publishing company. And I wrote that book strictly off of the Diddy trial and all of the alleged things that went on with him. So all of that jargon is in that book. That book is so powerful. That book is so mind blowing to me. I can't wait to see what it looks like and read it for myself without it being on, online. I want to see it in this book form where I can open it up and say the power of mutual healing. Narcissism is the illusion of love. This book right here, it tells you some stuff in here: love bombing, gaslighting, all of the things that you wouldn't believe that's going on. The bad boy image and what we like about the bad boy image and why we like it, and all these things. This book tells all. Forbidden Love Out Loud, it's telling, I am going to be your voice, sis, or brother, or whoever it may be in the LGBTQAI2 plus community. I stand with you and agree with you because nobody deserves to be abused. I don't care who you are. I know whose you are. You just got to line up with that part. I'm already in line. I'm praying for your soul, baby. And so, with that being said, I don't care who it is. I'm walking it out with you. I'm walking it out. I'm talking it out. I'm screaming it out. I'm voicing it out. I am your voice. I will make sure that everybody in this whole entire world hear me in every area, from the north, south, east, and the west. It might not happen today, and it might not happen next week, but I have the faith in knowing that my God will do what he said he's going to do in my life, and I believe what he said.
Elissa Boudreaux. Whew. Thank you so much for your transparency, your strength, your voice. Tonight we was reminded that domestic violence isn't just an issue, it's a crisis.
It's a crisis.
It's a crisis, and 1 in 4 women and 1 in 9 men will experience severe intimate partner violence in their lifetime. But together with faith, resources, and action, we can break that cycle. Can you tell everybody how to stay connected with you and how can they obtain copies of your book?
Well, I always have copies on hand, signed copies, and most people want the signed copies. And so if you want signed copies, of course, you can pay for them through me and you would pay for your own shipping. But if you want them and it doesn't matter, you can go to Amazon and find my books on Amazon. You can find I Get My Way Through Death, the book, the workbook, and the journal. You can find the Freckle Fairy, A Magical Lesson in Loving Yourself on Amazon. You can also find Forbidden Love, Domestic Violence Out Loud, and Volume 2 will be up and running before Christmas. Also, if you want 10 Resilient Steps from Pain to Purpose, I wrote this book in 2016. I wrote a book in 2007 or 8 that was called A Sacred Heart, Poems for the Soul. I wrote that book in one night, Christmas Eve, I think it's like 36 poems. Each poem God gave me, I wrote those poems, and I went into the Bible, and believe it or not, every poem had a scripture that matched with it. That book is powerful in itself. The 10 Resilient Steps from Pain to Purpose. I use this book. It's a self-help book. It has 10 resilient steps, and you can go into it every time you go through something, and you can find out what steps you're at. It says content to regenerate. The first one is to revive. The second is to recover. The third is to rebuild. The fourth is to rediscover. The fifth is to restore. The sixth is to redefine. The seventh is to renew. The eighth is to recreate and reinvent. The ninth is to reposition. And the 10th is to reintroduce or reacquaint yourself to the world. And say, sometimes I might be going through something, so I go back in this book and I say, ooh, I'm at the rebuilding stage, which that's where I started at. Okay, so that means I got 7 more steps to go. How fast do I want to get there? How bad do I want it? And I work on it. So I just tell you that God is, God shall, God will, and He has blown my mind just tonight with this podcast, because I'm telling you, He's putting everything in place and in position, and I'm standing here in position waiting on Him.
Yes, Lisa Adams said, great show tonight. Thank you, Lisa, for listening in and offering your input as well. These are the ways that you can stay connected. Make sure you reach out to her. Get those books, share the books, gift them to someone. Thank you so much. I am just, oh my God, you have a powerful story. Someone, if you wasn't encouraged tonight, I don't even know what to tell you. Thank you so much. You encouraged me. So I appreciate you sharing, you being vulnerable, and just being obedient to what God has you to do. Keep soaring, keep sharing your story. Yes, I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I am grateful, thankful, and blessed to be on your show. And I wish prosperity over everything that you touch, that your hands be blessed beyond measure, that your life and your house be blessed beyond measure, that the abundance, the overflow, every part of your life receives that.
Yes, I received that. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Warriors Talk family. Oh my goodness. I know you guys enjoyed the show tonight. Don't just listen. I need you guys to take action. If you know someone that you love that may be in danger, reach out for help. There is healing and there is freedom. You do not have to be in silence. So if you know someone that needs help, reach out to the National Domestic Violence Hotline, 1-800-799-SAFE, 1-800-799-7233, or you can text START to 88788, or you can go to the website at www.thehotline.org. If you are in immediate danger, then you need to call 911. I want to highlight my sponsor, Gloria Dotton with Mary Kay. She's catering to all of your beauty needs from head to toe. You can contact her at marykay.com/GDOTSON. Let her know that Warriors Talk sent you. Warriors Talk is always looking for individuals to share their story. If you want to encourage someone and you want to uplift someone by sharing your journey, reach out to me via, you can inbox me, or you can send me an email at warriorstalk1@gmail.com. Join me next Monday right here on Intellectual Radio. I will leave you with these words of wisdom. Your story may be someone else's survival guide, so don't be afraid to share it. Join me next Monday right here on Intellectual Radio. As always, thank you for tuning in to Warriors Talk with author and founder Lady ReShell, where we are changing lives one warrior at a time.
Thank you for listening to this week's edition of Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell. To find out more about Warriors Talk, follow at Warriors Talk, the number 1, on all social media outlets, and Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell on YouTube. Please join us next week and every Monday evening at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on intellectualradio.com for Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell, where we encourage, educate, and empower you into action.